Hello and welcome to In Stitches. I've got a lovely Bernina record, electronic, 830 on the bench today. Absolutely awesome machines. Before I go any further though, I just want to give a quick shout out to a new Patreon supporter, Dan Norton Midow. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correctly there, Dan. Thank you very much for your support on Patreon. This is a fairly common issue I see with the Bernina 830, and there will be other models I'm sure that have similar mechanisms. This video will relate to various models, and the telltale will be if it's got this mechanism here for the engaging the zigzag or the pattern stitches 1 to 20 here. So if it's got these two levers, this video will pertain potentially to the issue, and the issue is that the machine's not zigzagging. Now, there can be many causes for a machine not zigzagging, but I'm going to show you this common issue with these machines today, and maybe just discuss some other options as to why a machine might not be zigzagging. But you can see here, if I get you in closer, we're on the zigzag function here. Okay, we're on zigzag, and we're on zigzag here, so everything should be all set correctly there. And then you'll see here we've got the width dial here, so we're on 0, that's straight. If we go up to 4, that's the widest possible zigzag that the machine will do. Also, another thing to note is make sure that the buttonhole here is set to 0. You can see that as you turn the buttonhole selector that this will automatically turn. You want to make sure that's on 0, and you want to make sure that that is on your full width. And if your machine is still not zigzagging, well then it may have the same issue as this machine's got. Just get you in a little bit closer, and you'll see that the machine is not zigzagging. In fact, the needle is off to the right there. Actually, I'll take that press foot off so you can see that a little bit easier. Yeah, there's a slightly better view there. You can see the needle's just off to the right there slightly, and just doing a straight stitch. And as you can see, you know, everything's set for zigzag there, as you'd expect. Okay, now the problem is pretty easy to fix, and a very easy way to check it is if we, I'm sorry about the focusing there, just open the front cover there. This here pays to just turn your machine off while you do this, and just flip the lid up. That should just unlatch, you know, there's no buttons or anything to push. Just fold up the hinged lid there, and if we have a look down inside the machine here, you'll see a mechanism that, if you're familiar with these machines, you'll notice it straight away. That's not engaged properly. It's kind of in an in-between setting, if you like. Actually, a side-on view might be a little bit better there. Now, this little fork here sometimes seizes up, and it gets stuck halfway between the two systems, as such, the two drivers. So the fork is this sort of silver U-shaped piece here, and then we've got this driver here. Now you'll see when I power the machine on, and I'll just slowly put my foot down here, you'll see the mechanisms in motion there. Okay, so this one here is your zigzag, right, and that's doing its thing properly, but because the U-shaped little driver here is not engaged, the machine's not zigzagging. And if I flick that into position like that manually, you'll see now that this is moving. That drives the zigzag for the needle bar there. But as you saw before, if I can make it go halfway, I can. And now that you'll see this is in between, that the zigzag is no longer being driven. See there? And it's, in fact, it's floating around in between there. Now, if we flick the lever to the back, you can see it's not quite engaging fully at the back there. Now, to get the rear stitches, we do need to engage the second lever there. So this lever here, this is the one on the right hand side as you view the machine. That's the one that controls this little U-shaped driver here. And then you've got the other one here, which gives you your pattern stitches. And you can see it there through the top of the lid there. So we've got our different pattern stitches here. And then you've got the selector that selects between zigzag only, which is 0 here, or stitches 1 to 20. Now if I select stitch 2 here and I flip this up, and we'll see here that although I've flipped it up, it's not quite engaged with that rear driver. So we should see that rear piece driving there, but you can see it's not quite engaged properly. And if I force it back with my finger there, now it's connected properly. Okay, and in fact we're not on stitch 2. Yeah, just looking at that, that's actually stitch 3 there. So the key is that this here needs lubricating. And so what's happening is when this is being flipped back and forward, you can see it's not flipping one side or the other. It's kind of just sitting in limbo land there. And that is very easy to fix just by getting some oil, and we just oil down here. Now this is an indication really that your machine needs servicing if you need to oil this. And then we'll just work this back and forward here to exercise this part. Just back and forward like that. And you'll feel, you know, as that oil works in there, you'll start to hear it clacking in a second. It's not quite there yet. But you can also manually give it a little hand there. Just like that. I can see it's kind of starting to soak in there, start to free up. You see it there, it's just starting to flip itself, especially on that back stroke there. The forward one's still a little bit tight. Maybe give it a more of a soaking there. Just either side of that little U-shaped part. Just like that. And then back and forward. It's starting to free up now. There we go. And that is the sound you should hear when you're flipping this lever here. And now we can see that it's going to, so we're watching this. This is driving the needle zigzag, as I said before. Just keep an eye on this here for confirmation that it's actually working. And then if we flip it to zigzag, you can see that it's working perfectly there now. And that's it. The other reason that a machine, not necessarily this model, can have an issue is that, you know, maybe the mechanism that actually drives the zigzag, you can see that's the zigzag drive here, this little cam here. You can see here, this is the zigzag mechanism, and you know, while you're in here, you might as well go ahead and oil everything else that needs oiling in here. I'm not going to go through a full service of this machine on this video today, but you can see that's the zigzag mechanism there. On some machines, you know, these gears are plastic. This one here, there is a plastic gear in this machine as well. I'll show you that in a second. But as far as the zigzag is concerned, that on some machines can be plastic, or any stitch that is, you know, a zigzag type stitch, you know, not just a standard straight. There's potential that these gears here can be broken and are no longer driving the cam. And now sometimes on this model, see now this row of cams here, so effectively these plates here, they're all different types of cams, and that's what gives you your stitches, you know, 1 to 20 is a little cam follower just following along on these cams here. Now what can happen, and even with this model here, is because this gear is plastic, that can cause, you know, that can break and cause this to no longer drive properly. And you can inspect it, because if there's a slight crack in there that really needs replacing, as the machine's turning over there, you can see just if there's any cracks in that gear there, and if there is any cracks it needs replacing. Sometimes they split completely and just jam the machine up. So, you know, that can be a cause of a machine not doing its pattern stitches or not zigzagging. There can be, you know, seized parts in the zigzag mechanism that will stop, you know, the needle bar from being able to move left and right. So, you know, there's plenty of causes. Yeah, I thought I'd just do a quick video on this one just to show you a common cause of this issue here. And that's working nicely there. I'll just put that needle back in. I took the needle out because, you know, you do have to be careful when that part that we looked at before is floating around in no man's land there, that this needle can actually go outside of the bounds of the throat plate hole, so you can end up breaking a needle or jamming the machine. So I just whipped the needle out there before, but you can see now that we've got a perfectly good zigzag. Good zigzag there. And if I engage one of the pattern stitches, you'll see that we've got a different pattern there. And if I put maybe the tricot stitch on there, you'll see it in motion there. So that's it, fixed. Nice simple fix. So yeah, that's it for this one. Nice quick and easy one today, and I hope that helps you if you've ever got issues with your Bernina record 830 or other models similar. If it's not zigzagging, that's a nice simple fix there. Thank you all very much for watching, and as always, thank you very much to my patrons, and thank you again to Dan. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'm a little bit behind on videos at the moment. It's been very busy. I've been busy doing servicing and repairs and whatnot, so I'm starting to try to get back on track and get a few more videos out. So yeah, keep an eye out for more videos coming up soon. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to be notified of more videos coming up, please click the bell icon, and we'll see you in the next one.